right, you guys ready for your next comic? All right, this guy's intro was pretty interesting. When I asked him what he wanted to come up to, he said, just Butch. Give it up for Butch Wesley.
What's up? Yeah, where my smokers at? We got smokers here tonight. Yeah, hey, all right. Don't want you tuckered out for me. Yeah, I'm a smoker. I like to smoke the Winstons, right? Got the Winstons there. They got the slogan, "No bull, no boundaries." Bullshit. Hey, you put a brisk walk and a small fence in front of me, I'm like, it's a boundary. Getting over that. Because we're not athletic people, right? And that's why I was so amazed when I saw this one lighter had a decal on it. Had a decal of a guy running across the finish line at a track meet. Winning! He had his hands up in the air, the ribbons going around. I'm like, who the hell are you selling these lighters to? Smokers aren't doing that. So if you're gonna put a sport on a lighter, put something on there that we can play with a beer and a cigarette in our hand, right? Throw some cornhole on that lighter. Yeah? And I saw these other lighters, they had your astrological symbol on them. Oh, that's neat. Got the symbol there and the date and the name and everything. And I saw one for Sagittarius and saw one for Taurus. I was like, that's cool. And then I saw one for Cancer. Yeah, I'm not a superstitious person, but I'll be damned if I'm gonna light my cigarette with a lighter that says Cancer. That's just begging for trouble. It's like pushing you. That's like going fly fishing naked, right? It's pushing your luck too much. I don't like to push my luck. I like a nice, safe, sure bet, right? And that's why I was really happy when I read this article that said if you're in a committed relationship and you have a three-way, there's like an 85% chance that that relationship's gonna end. And I'm looking at this article going, I am in a damn shitty relationship right now. A better way out there never was. Because honestly, guys, right, we get to live the fantasy, you know, live the fantasy, get rid of the baggage. Shit, somebody make me a sandwich when we're done, I'll be in heaven. Butch likes a sandwich after some scroggin', you know? I like a cigarette after the scroggin' too, but I found that if you take that post-sex cigarette, move it after the sandwich, it's the post-sex, post-meal cigarette. It's twice as frickin' good. Read another article about some really weird things going on. Read this article about this guy who was elected mayor in this tiny little town out in the middle of nowhere because his buddies put him on the ballot. By some freak of nature, he won. And the really weird part of it was that they had an interview with him. And they were like, hey, bet your friends don't think it's so funny anymore, do they? And the guy honestly said, no. No, they don't think it's funny. They feel pretty bad. Like, what the hell kind of friends does this guy have? My friends would be happy as hell that it actually frickin' worked. You know? I would never let that down. I would be Mayor Butch of Butchville for the rest of my frickin' life. It'd be like 10 years before I saw one of these guys. I'd walk into them at a bar and they'd be like, hey, Butch, remember that time we made you mayor? And then I'd be forced to say something like, yeah, it's getting frickin' old. It's been 10 years. For Pete's sake, drop it. And then I'd get angry at myself because I said, for Pete's sake, because every time I say that, I wonder who the hell is Pete and why do we care about him so much? You know, like, if you're not gonna drop this joke for my sake, do it for Pete. Pete would want it that way. I want to become so well known and loved by all that they replace Pete's name with Butch. Right? Right? You know, maybe you go to the grocery store and it's like $10 for a loaf of bread. You're like, for Pete's sake, Mr. Grocer, that's some pricey bread you have there. Okay? But maybe, just maybe, you go and you're working in an AutoZone, okay? And you're working in an AutoZone and you see this thing called a talking tire gauge. And you bump your buddy on the shoulder you're working with and you're like, hey, look, talking tire gauge, that's pretty lazy, right? And he goes, no, it's for blind people. You go, for Butch's sake, don't be a fucking dumbass. They don't need tire gauges. They don't drive. They don't even own tires. There's no reason for them to have it. And that's what I hate. I hate driving and I hate dumbasses. Yes. I was driving the other day. Lady gets in front of me. She's got a "What Would Jesus Do" sticker on the back of her car. That pissed me off. Wasn't so much the sticker, it was the fact that I know Jesus Christ would not be driving around town like a jackass. Because she cut me off and I'm like, Jesus wouldn't have done that. Go a little further, I'm like, Jesus would have brake lights, he'd keep right except to pass, he'd probably do the frickin' speed limit. Jesus wouldn't call the cops on me. Granted, she did call the cops on me because I punched her. But, Jesus, turn the other cheek, right? And I don't think he would have been sitting at that green light long enough for me to get out of the car and jack him one in the forehead. You guys have been great. Thanks a lot.
Butch Wesley. Just Butch.